and I say to myself, "Come on, Jason. This is your sport, your business, your livelihood. You've got to you owe it, not not to yourself, but you owe it to the business,
right?
To keep up with it." And I simply, one day said no. I mean, I respectfully declined. I can't watch it anymore. And and once in a while, I will flip through and say, all right, let me, see it for a few minutes and everything. I can't more than like 60 seconds or a couple of minutes because it just starts. It's a no-go. It's not what it used to be. It's not, the business that I grew to love. And thankfully, I still get a chance to go to these conventions and, do shows and seminars. And, we're able to bring back, the old school style. And I see these, incredible legends that paved the way for so many of us, like Greg Valentine and Nick Busick, and I saw Jose Alicia Rivera the other day, and just so many of them. Tony Correa, Bob Backlund, all these true professionals that have paved the way and needed nothing more than knowledge, a pair of trunks and boots, and just pure, tremendous, entertaining, realistic-looking professional wrestling.
Right.
And to me, I'm always in awe whenever I watch wrestling on YouTube and seeing matches, hundreds of times, and and then the same one that I see, I'm always in awe when I see how incredibly realistic they look. They're simple, and the way the crowd reacts and everything, and they don't have to do a million spots and hit the cables a million times and jump off the turnbuckle and miss and do all these moves that are Matrix like, and the fact of the matter is that that looks fake because you can tell that it's all choreographed from A to Z.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean that's just not how I work.
Amen to that, man. And the essence of true in-ring wrestling and being technical and telling a story will never die. And the times that you do get to see it, like you said, I can sit there and watch a match on YouTube over and over and over again because I'm so engaged of how those two talents are working together in the ring and expressing the story of good versus evil. The good versus evil will never die. It's just more so of how you tell that story and present it to someone in the audience. So, the Mickey Mouse stuff is kind of. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I mean, it looks choreographed because it is, and I mean, it's, and I look at it and I'm like, the athleticism is amazing, but I mean, it just looks, it's choreographed. It's like, I've seen people do that in, like I said, sideshow circus.
Mm-hmm.
Flip around and do all that kind of stuff. Unnecessary move. I call that wasted movement.
Mm-hmm. The repetitive spots.
Like,
yeah,
exactly. It's like why would I mean the the shortest distance between 2 points is in a straight line.
Mm-hmm.
So why would I go around? That seems like it's that logic doesn't exist anymore. I mean, it's like, what, the formula has changed. What is it? The law of gravity no longer exists. What the fuck?
Yeah. No, it's always about pushing the envelope, but, if you keep, I always agree with keep it grounded and you'll never fail. So,
No. Simple, you keep it and, and you add a few, few things here and there and, just to pop the crowd and then bring them down and all that, That's the problem. Nobody knows how to bring them down anymore. And you know what? They don't dare. They're afraid.
Yeah.
They're afraid they're going to get that boring chant. Why? because, you know, many of the young wrestlers, they're marks.
Yeah.
They're marks themselves. You know, they're afraid. And the funny thing is, you know, there's professional wrestlers. We are supposed to dictate the emotions of the fans. Nope, it's the other way around with this new generation.
Yes.
The fans dictate, you know, and you know, and it amazes me, you know. You know what? Kudos to the fans, because they saw that they can actually manipulate wrestlers, you know.
Right.
And that, and you know, and that, you know, I mean, that really tells you something about, you know, the lack of education given to these young individuals, and it's all honestly to the lack of education. They're not educated in our business.
Do you think it's more so because the business has been exposed more over the years, or you just think it's just lack of education from the road agents working backstage with the talent?
Probably both. But, you know, exposed or not, I mean, you know, look, the business was always exposed. We always knew that professional wrestling is the work.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very tough work, but it's a work nevertheless, you know.
Right.
Now, when it comes to what you still still when fans walk through those doors and they take their seats, they want to be transferred into the other world, you know, because that's why they're there. You know,
right.
They know what's going on, and you know, they know the whole story, but they want to be transferred. And if you don't deliver that, whether they know it or not, you know, whether you guys are best friends or not really enemies, blah blah blah, whatever, you know, they still are there. You know, it's almost like, you know, when you go to a theater to watch a movie, you have certain expectations, and you know, these people, you know, buy tickets and sit there. They deserve to be entertained with nothing but the best. And unfortunately, you know, that is not happening because of I'm not even sure is the you know, because they do have tremendous agents, but I'm not even sure these agents are allowed to educate these kids. Because how can you not learn from, like, you know, Arn Anderson or Renee Goulet, Tony Garea, Pat Patterson, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't think that they're, you know, I think they want to keep these kids, I hate to say the word dumb, but kind of like dumb to the business. Clueless, we call it.
Mm.
They have no clue. They have absolutely no clue. Why? Because they've not paid their dues. They've not worked territories. They've not worked for Lawler, Watts, Eddie Graham, Ron Eric, you know, the guys over in Oregon, California, Mid-South, the Sheik over in Midwest. I mean, they've not been up to Canada. They've not taken their tours to Japan and Europe and Puerto Rico, and, you know, they've not done that. All they know is the WWE.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's it. You know, I mean, it's that's all they know. You know, and they don't bother doing their history. I mean, God forbid, why would they?
No, not at all.
Because, well, yeah, you know, I mean, it's like, you know, what does it matter? You know, what do I care who Dick Murdoch or Harley Race is? You know, I mean, he's not jacked like I am.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have a tan like I am. You know, like I do. You know,
mm-hmm.
He doesn't hit 15 spots in 3 minutes like I do and flip around. You know, he doesn't do a moonsault and, you know, stuff like that. Why would they care who Eddie Graham is? You know, probably the greatest promoter of all time. Why would they care who Bill Watts is? One of the most realistic wrestlers, promoters, / whatever of all time. Why would they care who Ernie Ladd is? I mean, who cares? You know,
right.
these are dinosaurs from the past, or, you know, they've died out, and who cares? You know, and that's exactly it. And no one steps in to say, hey, listen, you know, you little punk.
Mm-hmm.
While you are on the internet playing those stupid video games and watching these spot matches, I want you to, you know, go back in time and learn. You know, I mean, I would actually make them take classes
Hmm.
and have to learn the history of professional wrestling and pretty much all the greats, who did what, when, how, why, and all that. Really, I would actually, that would be one of my requirements when I ran my wrestling schools.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would play tapes, and I would educate these kids, and who is who, and why and how, and I would bring in tapes, and we would watch things that they learned. I didn't just okay, well, because everyone comes and says, oh yeah, Rey Mysterio, John Cena, all due respect, but I'm like, hold on a second, let's go back to the 70s, the 80s, the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you know who some of the greatest are. I mean, Dick Slater, Steve Keirn, Mike Graham, guys like that. Like I said, the Von Erichs.
The list goes on for
Duke.
Yeah,
I think the list goes on and on. I mean, these were these realistic professional wrestlers like Harley Race and Dusty and all those guys who were just amazing. They had charisma, they had everything, and they could wrestle, and and they just kept very simple in the ring. And I was watching some of the Gorilla Monsoon matches. I mean, what a wrestler! Amazing. I mean, just the way that when he would step into that ring, that mountain of a man, but everything was so realistic looking. It's just that big 400 man was like poetry in motion.
And he worked with Muhammad Ali and other greats in the ring back in the day.
Yep.
Before Muhammad Ali was even mentioned with Mr. T in a WrestleMania, which that's another story. But it goes to show you that people like Gorilla Monsoon, as large of a mountain of a man as he was, could still work with anyone and everyone in that ring and make him look like $1 million. Even a crossover star like Muhammad Ali to get in the ring with him.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah. I mean, it's, you're either born with it or you're not.
Right.
And everything else, I mean, anyone, it's like, there are lots of things you can teach a monkey to do, but you can't teach it to speak. And you just say monkey see, monkey do. And the problem is, that's all, and once again, that's all that it's out there. People are looking at, the more spectacular aspect of the business. The quick-based matches, this, that, and that's why nobody really knows how to wrestle.
That's true. No one today. It seems like they know the simple foundations of just technical holds and building someone's interest and attention. It just seems like, let me come out there with my cool looking tights, my theme music. As long as I get my theme music and my tights and I smile or I look like I'm really, really angry, which I haven't seen a good heel in a long time on television.
No. And you know why? Because, these are all young people, and young people are not scary. I'm sorry. Young people are not scary.
Right.
And it's more and more, because when I was breaking in, I mean, those guys were already, grown men. Like Tony Atlas and Ken Patera and David Schultz and these guys. Those were scary men. You see Joel and Duke and the Sheik and, all these, I mean, those guys were scary. Harley Race, when he looks at you with that squint, I mean, he can kill you with a stare, and these guys, I don't care how jacked they are, how many moves they can do, and how hard they can either stiff you or whatever. They're not scary. First of all, they have no life experience,
Right.
Anybody can lift heavy weight in the gym or run, a mile in, how many ever minutes, and anybody can be a tough guy and stiff anyone in the ring when you give them your body, But, when you end up on the floor in the locker room and somebody's got your eyeball, in their in their hand, or you're missing an ear or left nut,